this LSU defense can't stop a dual threat quarterback, and you think they'd be pretty good because they play against Daniels all spring, all summer, all fall in training camp. But when they see a quarterback that has any kind of mobility at all, they don't know what to do. And it's a player thing, it's a coaching thing, it's really a lot of different things baked into the same cake. And this defense, and really it's opposing offenses that are eating that cake every single week. They're feasting on it. So what went wrong in this game against the dual threat quarterbacks? We've already seen Jordan Travis go off against these guys. We saw KJ Jefferson of Arkansas do the exact same thing, and now you can add Jaxson Dart to the list as well. He didn't have any super long carries like Daniels did. I think he totaled over 50 yards, but every yard that Jaxson Dart gained was meaningful. It was in third downs, third and mediums, fourth downs even, to move the chains and keep Ole Miss moving down the field methodically. He even hurdled the guy. Like, he's not a guy that I expected to do the things that he did to this defense in this game. But when you don't tackle, when you don't maintain gap responsibility, which Coach Kelly and all these coaches have talked about before as something they have to clean up, those things weren't cleaned up. And when you don't do those things, if you got legs and you can run, heck, if you can even jog, you'll eat against this LSU defense. And Jaxson Dart did. Everybody did on this Ole Miss offense. Here's the problem. We've talked about this so many times. I literally feel like a broken record. 0 sacks in this game. All of last year, you guys know the stat. We've talked about this several times. In each of the 4 games LSU lost last year, they had 0 sacks in all of those games. Against Florida State, the opener, 0 sacks, they lost. This game, they lost 0 sacks. Like, it's transitive property. You don't get sacks, you don't win football games. And that's what it is right now for LSU football. On top of that, that's kind of a player thing. Sometimes you miss tackles, you don't maintain your gaps. Like, that's kind of on the players. But it's also on coaching and schematics as well. And when we do the film review on the whiteboard over here that you'll see in a minute, I'm going to dive into how schematically some things LSU does is just pure stupidity. And frankly, it's medieval. Like, they need to catch up with what football is right now in the modern day and age, because they are way behind, like 30 years behind I'm talking about. It didn't seem like LSU was prepared for the tempo of this game. When you think about Lane Kiffin, you think about Ole Miss, it's a fast, run and gun, NASCAR approach when it comes to football. Plays done? All right, let's get to the line. Let's go. 4 or 5 seconds, next play. LSU had multiple illegal substitution penalties. Ole Miss was on the 1-yard line, and they tried to sub, and a guy's got to run like 40 yards from the sideline to the goal line to get into the play. Like, obviously, a 350-pound lineman's not going to make it there in time. They just didn't have the substitutions down, and the players looked tired. I talked about the offense having juice, having charisma. The defense had absolutely none of that. They took no pride in defending their end zone in this game. I'm standing behind the end zone for one of Ole Miss's touchdowns in the fourth quarter. And Quinshon Judkins, Jaxson Dart, whoever it is taking the rock, Ulysses Bentley as well, just hammering down on this LSU front. And they just sat there and took it like, oh, I guess they're going to score again. I'm not going to do anything about it. They just did not take any pride in that red zone defense. And as I talked about last week, that was the difference in winning that Arkansas game. You got 2 stops inside the 10, forced 2 field goals. You do that in this game, you win the game. But no, they didn't bow their necks. They buckled. And Ole Miss punched it in and finished drives. And that really was the key to them pulling out and winning this game. And then a few other things here. Missed tackles galore. Like, if you want a lesson on how to tackle an opposing football player, I hope you didn't watch this game, because this is the exact opposite of what you need to be watching. If you tuned in to watch flag football, on the other hand, yeah, you may have been in the right place, because that's what LSU was playing. They were grabbing for flags, and they thought when they touched the guy's hip, he was down. Nope, you got to bring him down to the ground, actually. That's how football works. That's how it's worked since 1894 or whenever Rutgers started playing against Harvard and whoever else. That's how football has been played for years. This team had no physicality. They took no pride. I talk about pride. They took no pride in that contact. They just got bullied. Again, I said it in the first game of the season. They had no interest in physically competing with Florida State, and the same is true here. There's a couple of plays that stuck out in my head. Here's one of them. It was a 3rd and 5, opening drive of the game. Harold Perkins in perfect position to make a tackle. 3 and out, get the team off the field, misses the tackle, and the Ole Miss player, I think it was Jaxson Dart, takes off, gets the first down, drive continues, eventually Ole Miss scores. You make that tackle, you get off the field, and it just comes down to missed tackling again, and I got a stat for that. Here you go. LSU is the 7th worst tackling team in the Power 5. That's 60 or so teams. They miss 16.9% of their tackles. That's ugly. That's a bad number. And that really is why you're in the position you're in. In this game, LSU missed 34 tackles, which allowed Ole Miss to gain 284 extra yards. That is, they had 706 total on the game. That's almost half of their yardage coming in situations where you just didn't make a tackle. That can't happen. You eliminate even half of that 288 or 284, whatever it is, it's unacceptable. You're in a better position to win this game. But that wasn't the case. Ole Miss runs rampant with the running backs, with the quarterback. They passed it all over LSU. Just so many problems and issues with this defense. So many that I've got to take another 5 to 10 minutes to really talk about it. So the point here is that LSU still can't stop a dual-threat quarterback, and we've seen 3. I've asked, people have asked, what's being done about it? We get answers verbally, but physically, there have been no answers. And until we see any answers actually on the football field, between the hashes, between the lines, they can't stop a dual-threat quarterback, and that really impacts how you look at LSU's viewpoint on what they can accomplish this season and what teams they can beat this year. If you got a dual-threat quarterback, as of right now, you're moving the ball in LSU, and you're probably beating LSU, and that's where we are.